90 days. That's all it takes to completely change your body, your habits, and maybe even your money. At least, that's the promise. The internet is full of challenges. 90 days to six-pack abs, 90 days to learn a new skill, 90 days to transform your life. But what if you could use those same 90 days to rewire your finances? Think about it. 3 short months. A single season of your life. Could that really be enough to break years of bad habits, kill debt, start saving, and finally take control of your future? Some people say yes, that 90 days of total focus can lock in new patterns that last a lifetime. Others call it hype, another motivational gimmick that burns out as quickly as it begins. But here's the truth. 90 days isn't magic. It's discipline. And if you're willing to treat those 3 months like a financial boot camp, the results can be shocking. Because in the end, wealth isn't built in years. It's built in decisions, one day at a time. And 90 days of the right decisions could be the moment everything changes. So let's dive into the great lock-in and see if you really can rewire your finances in 90 days. Meet Lauren. She's 30 years old, works a 9 to 5, and feels like she's constantly running in place. Each payday comes, and somehow, by the end of the month, there's nothing left. Her credit card balance creeps higher. Her savings account stays empty. One night, scrolling through her phone, she stumbles on a question. What if the next 90 days could change your entire financial future? It hits her. She's tried budgets before, but always gave up. She's read about investing, but never started. 90 days feels short enough to try, but long enough to make a difference. Day 1 is brutal. She cancels 3 subscriptions she forgot she even had. She sets up automatic transfers, $20 a week, into a savings account she promises not to touch. And she stares at her credit card statement like it's an enemy she finally has to face. It feels overwhelming. But here's the secret. Change never feels easy at first. That's why the first step of a 90-day lock-in isn't about money at all. It's about mindset. Deciding that for 3 months, you'll break the cycle. No excuses, no drifting back into old habits. Because if you can survive day 1, you've already proven something powerful. You don't have to keep living the same financial story. The lock-in has begun. The first week feels strange. Lauren walks past her favorite coffee shop, and for the first time in years, doesn't stop. She brews a cup at home instead. It saves her just $5, a tiny amount. But when she transfers those $5 into her new savings account, she feels something shift. Day by day, the small wins stack up. She brings lunch from home instead of ordering out. She cancels an impulse Amazon order after asking herself, do I really need this, or do I just want it right now? By the end of week 1, she saved $45 she normally would have spent without thinking. It doesn't sound like much. But the point isn't the amount. It's the proof. For the first time, she sees that her habits, not her income, were holding her back. By week 2, the confidence grows. She checks her credit card balance, and instead of dreading it, she makes her first extra payment. It's small, just $25 beyond the minimum, but it feels like striking back against years of debt. The magic of the 90-day lock-in is that change becomes visible fast. 1 skipped coffee, 1 canceled subscription, 1 small transfer. It's not about deprivation. It's about direction. And with every choice, Lauren feels less like a victim of her finances and more like the one in control. By week 3, the honeymoon phase ends. Lauren's friends text her. Drinks tonight? It's happy hour. She hesitates. Normally, she'd say yes without thinking. But now, every choice feels heavier. 1 night out means $30 gone. Money she promised herself she'd lock into savings. She compromises. She meets them, but orders water and a snack instead of 3 cocktails. Her friends tease her at first, but then shrug it off. The old Lauren would have felt embarrassed. The new Lauren feels proud. Still, the pressure is real. Ads keep popping up for clothes she wants. Payday hits, and the urge to treat herself whispers in her ear. Even her own brain pushes back, saying, "What's the point? You'll never get out of debt anyway." This is the hardest part of any 90-day lock-in. The middle. The excitement of starting is gone, but the finish line feels far away. Here's where most people quit. They convince themselves the sacrifice isn't worth it. But Lauren fights back. She writes down her goals on paper: build a $500 emergency fund, pay down $200 of credit card debt, and keep the streak alive. The numbers aren't life-changing yet, but the discipline is. Because every time she resists temptation, she's rewiring her brain. And the truth about the 90-day lock-in is simple. The hardest battles aren't with money. They're with yourself. By day 30, something shifts. Lauren logs into her savings account and, for the first time in her adult life, sees a balance that makes her smile: $200. It's not a fortune, but it's hers, untouched, growing, a safety net she's never had before. Her credit card bill tells a similar story. The balance is still there, but it's shrinking. She's paid down almost $200 beyond the minimum. For years, it felt like debt was quicksand, pulling her deeper no matter what she did. Now, for the first time, she feels like she's climbing out. But the biggest change isn't in the numbers. It's in the way she thinks. Lauren no longer buys something without asking herself, does this get me closer to my 90-day goal or further away? That simple question has rewired her habits more than any budgeting app ever could. She even starts looking at her paycheck differently. Instead of seeing it as money to spend, she sees it as power, a tool to buy freedom, not just stuff. The results aren't magic. They're math. 45 saved here, 25 paid down there, week after week. Small, consistent actions adding up. And now, for the first time, Lauren believes something she never thought possible. 90 days could actually change her life. By the second month, Lauren feels stronger. The panic she once felt opening her banking app has faded. Now she's curious. Excited, even. Her savings account holds $350. Her credit card balance is down by nearly $300. And for the first time, she considers something new: investing. She starts small. $20 into an index fund. It feels almost silly. What difference can $20 make? But then she remembers the lesson from her savings: small steps compound. A year of tiny investments could become hundreds. A decade could become thousands. This is where the 90-day lock-in becomes powerful. It's not just about cutting back. It's about building forward. The habits she's formed, saving, questioning, paying down debt, now free up space for the next step: growth. Lauren sets a rule. Every payday, she'll split her progress into 3 buckets. One for savings, one for debt, one for investing. Even if the amounts are small, the act of dividing builds balance into her system. And slowly, her identity shifts. She's no longer someone bad with money. She's an investor, a saver, a builder. The numbers are still modest, but the mindset has transformed. And that's the real secret. 90 days isn't about making you rich. It's about proving to yourself that you can change. And once you believe that, the sky opens. Then it happens. The test every financial journey eventually brings. Lauren's car breaks down. The repair bill, $300. A month ago, that would have gone straight on her credit card, another debt piled on the mountain. But this time, she has a choice. Her emergency fund has grown to $350. Enough to cover it. Enough to handle a crisis without sliding backward. When she hands over the money, it stings, watching her savings balance drop back close to zero. But then she realizes something powerful. This is what the fund was for. For the first time, she solved a problem with cash instead of debt. And that single moment feels like freedom. Still, the temptation to quit is real. 90 days suddenly feels long again. She wonders, what's the point if emergencies just wipe out progress? But here's the truth of financial rewiring. It's not about never facing setbacks. It's about being strong enough to recover from them. Lauren rebuilds. She recommits. And within 2 weeks, her savings account is back over $100. The habit is stronger than the setback. And that's when she understands, money isn't just about numbers. It's about resilience. Because once you learn you can take a hit and keep moving forward, nothing can stop you. By the 3rd month, something remarkable happens. The routines that once felt forced now feel natural. Making her own coffee isn't a sacrifice, It's just what she does. Skipping impulse buys doesn't feel like deprivation. It feels like strength. Lauren's savings account is back over $200. Her credit card debt is down by $500 total since she began. Her tiny investments have grown a little, not much, but enough to remind her. Money isn't just being protected, it's starting to grow. But the bigger shift is invisible. She doesn't dread opening her banking app anymore. She looks forward to it. She's rewired her brain from avoidance to engagement, from fear to control. Even her friends notice. Instead of teasing her about saying no to drinks, they start asking questions. How did you manage to pay off your card so fast? How do you always seem calm about money now? Lauren laughs. 3 months ago, she was the one asking those questions. Now she has answers. The truth is, 90 days isn't long enough to erase all debt or become wealthy. But it's long enough to create a new identity, to lock in habits that change the direction of your entire life. And once you've crossed that line, there's no going back. Because the person you become in 90 days is far more powerful than the money itself. Here's the truth about the great lock-in. 90 days isn't magic. It won't make you a millionaire. It won't erase every mistake of the past. But it will do something more important. It will prove to you that change is possible. 3 months of discipline can turn spending into saving, fear into confidence, chaos into control. The question is not whether 90 days is enough to completely transform your finances. The question is, what else could you do if you kept going? Because the next 90 days will come, whether you take action or not. The calendar won't stop. The bills won't stop. The habits you have today will either keep you stuck or carry you forward. You have 2 options. Stay the same, watching another 3 months slip by. Or lock in, truly lock in, and give yourself the gift of momentum. Lauren's story isn't special. It's not luck. It's not genius. It's just proof that when you commit, the results follow. So here's the challenge. Start your own 90-day lock-in today. Track every dollar. Cut one bad habit. Build one small saving or investing routine. Because in 90 days, you'll either wish you had started or be amazed at how far you've come. The choice is yours.